Okay, hi folks, it's Dane at Jonah Guitars. I'm going to be gluing this fretboard onto this neck. This is the double O fretboard and neck. I just cut the bevel on the headstock here and kind of mirrored the back. That will get finished out in the sander. So I have a line right here for my nut, and that is where I'm going to match the end of the fretboard to the line of the nut, which you can't see. I'm just going to measure right up under here. Oh, I already have run my router, my template on the sides of this neck. This is how I do it. I think I've demonstrated that on the SG neck, maybe not. But yeah, I like to run my use my neck as a template, and I've mentioned before, and other people have commented on it, is that there are other ways to do it. Some people like to get their fretboard to size and then use that as the template to shape their neck in. So they leave their neck kind of just squarish until they get the fretboard figured out. Some people, it just works out better with the tooling they have to do it that way. So I've got, what is that, 5/16-ish there, and yeah, right on 5/16 there. So I'm just going to go ahead and clamp this into position. I'm preparing to drill my, what do you call those things? My pins, basically. So that when I drill the pins in and put them in, I'll be able to relocate the fretboard in the same place. And so now I'll measure it, but basically, you know, with your fingers back here, you can just tell that they're even from side to side. It's not super critical. You're not going to throw this thing off enough to twist your frets up too bad. That was reading a 16th over there, reading a 16th there, so that's good. I'm going to go ahead and clamp that, and I'll just double check the front here because it might have turned a little bit. Nope, we're still good. Sweet. All right, so now I have my drill already marked. So with my 1/4 inch of fretboard, I'm going into the neck just around 1/4 inch. As you can see, I have the center strip here, which actually encompasses my truss rod, so I don't have to worry. As long as I shoot somewhere right just outside of the wing gay, then I'm going to be good. And I like to do 2 here and 2 in the back. I have done 1 on each end and then clamped it and actually had it move because the little toothpicks here aren't quite strong enough to hold it if you're really going to clamp it down. So I use 4 now. And I like to run it backwards first. Just kind of center me in that spread slot. Alrighty, and then the back. And you don't have to be too careful on the back, just inside the neck, because you're out over the heel here. I do go a little farther out than I would on the nut end here. I feel like that might give it a little more strength as well. I don't have any, you know, rationale behind that other than I just think so. All right, so pretty much just break these in half. Pop it down in there. The middle of the toothpick, the fat end, and not the sharp pointy end. So now we can get rid of the clamps. I'm going to pop this off. Oh, no, I'm not. I'm going to turn it over. And I'm going to trace the outline of the neck. And I still have the square shoulders here. I haven't, you know, smoothed that out yet to continue with the taper of the neck. So, and then I'm just going to put a straight edge on here and go ahead out to the end of the neck because there's nothing to trace here. I'm just going to bandsaw that off. I might actually take this off and put some tape on there so I can see those lines. That's what I usually do. But you know, once the camera's going, everything just goes to crap. Okay, you can see I've got this taped, and I'm just going to go over to the bandsaw and cut it out. All right, so it's cut, bandsaw down. It's very rough and ugly. It doesn't have to be pretty because it's going to get on here and then it's going to get routed off to match the neck. So, yeah, I am also going to go over to my sanding block where I have paper stuck down. I'm going to rough this up. I'm going to sand the top of the neck, and then we'll be one more step closer. Got the neck sanded and the fretboard. I'll probably hit that with a little alcohol. Wingate is not oily or anything, so it's not that huge a deal. But okay, and then you can see that the truss rod is wrapped. So I'm not going to bother covering that. I will, however, cover up this little section right here so as to not get any glue on it. Might even leave that tape in there. Yep. Okay. This is an acoustic guitar. I don't know how much difference it makes on a neck, but I use collagen glue. I'm just getting a wet rag here. Oh, you know, I should wipe that neck if I'm going to do it. Or the fretboard, rather. Okay, I wiped it off with alcohol. And, yeah, like I said, it's really not super critical. Let me expand on that. It's not super critical to wipe this wood because it's not a really oily wood. Rosewood, teak, very oily woods, and it's really a good idea to go ahead and wipe them. I'm putting a piece of tape across right here at the nut line. I don't need it to locate the nut, but I like it to not have glue just smearing out on there if I can help it. All right. This is where I double check, right? I do have a truss rod in here. That's always handy. Not get your fretboard glued down with no truss rod in there. That would just really mess things up. I'm not going to get too fancy here because I didn't think to get a brush or anything, so I'm just going to use my finger and go for it. And once I'm done clamping this up, if I remember, I'll explain to you the bit about the fretboard overhang. Okay, rather than put glue on both pieces, I usually just throw a little extra glue on here because I don't have to mark where the glue, where the glue stops and all that. And I don't know why I'm doing this on top of a table saw that's got ribs on the thing here. Anyway, so here we go. Another little bead of glue down here just to give us extra stuff. And we'll have plenty of stuff squeezing out of here. Trust me. Oh, I don't know. I was down here. That was balancing it. Am I still in the camera? Yeah, okay. All right, so just to kind of help get this located, I'll poke these things through and lay it over so I can see them. So I got the pins started. I'm not even close. Okay. I think we're kind of lined up. Yep. Over there. those out of the way because I'm going to put a beam on here. And I have tape on each side, so I have a little hollow spot in the middle. Looks like this tape has kind of migrated a bit over the years, but so I'll put that on here, and that just helps push those outside edges down. And I'm going to use the squeezy clamps just to start. I think they're called quick grip. Oh, they are. It's right there in on the tool. If I get it in the camera. Quick grip. All right, so did this just to hold it in. Now, a lot of people just use the quick grips, and I got plenty of them. But I also have these pipe clamps that I've just been using over the years, and I'm quite satisfied with. So I'm going to lay this down. And of course, if you could get away with a quick grip clamp, you sure don't need to put tons of pressure on one of these. So a little bit of squeezing. Get rid of these. Grab a couple more pipe clamps. It's clamped, it's glue clamped, the truss rod is in there. Now I'm going to have to wait until tomorrow because it's a little after 7 at night and get this out, and then all I'll do is run it through the shaper, or the router table, to trim it to the edge of the edge of the neck, and then I'll get down to here where there is nothing to trim to, and at that point we'll just have to take a plane and create a straight line, from here to there. Not too hard to do. Okay, let's get this out of the clamps. All right, I didn't mention this is just a nice big straight beam to hold everything flat and straight during clamping. This just happens to be a piece of teak. I had done a teak table from pole houses in Thailand quite a few years back now when I was doing that sort of stuff. Also did a, honestly, that was teak too. I did a concierge table for the big place in Vegas. All right, so we got it from that point. We're going to take it over to the routing table area and just trim this off. And I mentioned yesterday, well, just a second ago in the video, that I'm just going to bring it up to here and stop it, and then we'll just hand plane the straight line into that, and then the same thing over on this side. Like we said earlier here, that the guitar neck itself is going to be the template. Okay, and that is as low as this particular bearing will go, this cutter, because of the length of it. So I'm going to be riding along this edge of the neck here. And there is the part where it squares off right here. I haven't try to do anything. I'm just going to leave it. I'm just going to follow it. It's going to square off on this part. Is that good or is that bad? Now I'll just take it all down with the plane then and make it all consistent, so that will work. I'll just take it slow. No big pieces all at once here. All right, so you can see that it's cut nicely, and it does just follow the neck, so it's perfectly trimmed here. I am going to take a plane to it and draw myself a line along with the straight part of this, and then this will just plane out to where it needs to go. I'm not going to even do that on camera. I'm just going to call it good for this one right here, and probably the next thing we do will be laying out the neck and getting it carved. At least getting straight. We'll just have to do a carve video. I know that I've done those. I know that I've done this not that long ago. Yeah, so some of this may be a repeat pretty close to the last one. Not sure. But anyway, thank you everybody for hanging in there with me on this, and we'll see you next week. Take care. Bye.